You probably visit dozens of websites every day, streaming your favorite shows, buying things online, managing your business, or maybe just reading up on a new hobby. But have you ever wondered what's happening behind the scenes of those websites? What keeps them online, fast, and secure? There's a powerful tool working quietly in the background called a virtual private server, or VPS. It might not be as flashy as cloud computing or as buzzworthy as AI, but VPS technology is the backbone of modern websites, apps, game servers, and even blockchain networks. Whether you're a developer, small business owner, gamer, or just tech curious, understanding VPS hosting isn't just interesting. It could be the key to your next big digital leap. So today, we're breaking it all down. No fluff, no hype. Just a clear, deep dive into what a VPS actually is, how it works, and why so many people and businesses rely on it. Let's get started. What exactly is a VPS? Let's start with the basics. VPS stands for Virtual Private Server. To understand that, let's first break down what each of those words actually means. Virtual. It's not a physical machine you can touch, like a desktop computer or a physical server sitting in a data center. Instead, it's a virtual machine created using a process called virtualization. Private. Unlike shared hosting, where your website or application is sitting alongside dozens or even hundreds of others on the same server, a VPS gives you your own dedicated environment. That means more control, more power, and more privacy. Server. A server is just a computer that responds to requests over a network. Whether it's showing a webpage, running an app, or storing data, it's serving something to users. So a VPS is essentially a virtual machine that runs on a physical server, but acts like its own independent server. You get root access, custom configuration, and your own resources, without paying the sky-high prices of renting an entire dedicated server. How does a VPS actually work? The magic of a VPS lies in virtualization technology. Here's how it works. A hosting company takes a powerful physical server and uses special software, called a hypervisor, to divide it into multiple isolated virtual environments. Each VPS runs its own operating system, has its own files and processes, and doesn't interfere with other VPS instances on the same physical machine. Think of it like a high-rise apartment building. Each tenant, VPS, has their own apartment, isolated resources, their own keys, root access, and their own utilities, RAM, CPU, disk space. They're all in the same building server, but they don't mess with each other. This is why VPS hosting is such a big deal. You get many of the benefits of a dedicated server: performance, control, isolation, but at a fraction of the cost. VPS versus other hosting types. Let's clarify how a VPS compares to other common hosting options. Shared hosting is the cheapest and most basic option. You're essentially living in a dorm room. You share everything with your neighbors, including bandwidth and resources. If someone else uses too much power, your performance suffers. Dedicated hosting is like owning a mansion. You get the whole house to yourself. Amazing, but very expensive, and often more than you need. VPS hosting is like having your own apartment in a luxury building. You're independent, you've got privacy, and you're not relying on anyone else's good behavior to stay comfortable. In short, VPS is the sweet spot, ideal for users who have outgrown shared hosting but don't yet need a full dedicated server. Common use cases of a VPS. So, why do people use VPS servers? Here's where it gets really interesting. A VPS isn't just for hosting a website. It's an incredibly flexible tool that can serve a wide range of use cases across industries. 1. Website hosting. The most obvious one. Websites that need more power and stability than shared hosting, especially commerce stores, blogs with lots of traffic, or company sites, are often hosted on a VPS. You get better load speeds, fewer crashes, and more control over your backend. 2. Web applications. VPS hosting is ideal for apps that need server-side logic, databases, and dynamic processing. Whether you're building a SaaS product, a business portal, or an internal tool, a VPS gives you the platform to deploy and scale securely. 3. Game servers. From Minecraft to Rust to Counter-Strike, gamers and game developers use VPS to host private or public multiplayer servers. You get low latency, custom mods, and control over every aspect of the gaming environment. 4. VPN hosting. You can use a VPS to set up your own VPN server for secure, encrypted internet access. This is a popular option for tech-savvy users who don't want to rely on commercial VPN providers. 5. File storage and backups. You can turn a VPS into your own secure remote storage box. Store backups, sync important files across devices, or even host your own Nextcloud instance for a fully private cloud storage solution. 6. Email servers. For businesses that want full control over their email communications, a VPS can host your own mail server. It requires more setup and maintenance, but gives you freedom from Gmail or Outlook limitations. 7. Development and testing environments. Developers love VPS servers because they can spin up staging environments to test code before going live. You can install whatever tech stack you want -- Node.js, Python, Ruby, PHP, MySQL without restrictions. 8. Hosting a database server. If your application relies heavily on data, like an analytics dashboard or a CRM, you can dedicate a VPS just for running your database, ensuring better performance and security. Benefits of using a VPS. Now that we know how versatile a VPS can be, let's talk about the key advantages. Performance. Because your resources are dedicated, your website or application won't slow down because someone else's site is having a traffic spike. Customization. You get full root access, so you can install any software or make any configuration changes you want. Want a specific version of PHP or Nginx? No problem. Scalability. Most VPS plans are easily scalable. If you start with 2 GB of RAM and find you need more, many providers let you upgrade with just a few clicks. Security. You're isolated from other users, which greatly reduces the risk of someone else's hacked site affecting yours. You can also implement your own firewalls and security policies. Cost efficiency. VPS gives you most of the power of a dedicated server, but at a price that's much more affordable, especially for small businesses or growing apps. Potential drawbacks to consider. It's not all sunshine and scalability. VPS hosting isn't perfect for everyone. Technical knowledge required. Managing a VPS, especially an unmanaged one, means you're responsible for updates, patches, and configurations. If you're not comfortable with command line interfaces or server logs, there's a learning curve. Higher cost than shared hosting. While VPS is cheaper than a dedicated server, it's still more expensive than basic hosting plans. For hobby sites or small blogs, it might be overkill. Security is your responsibility. With great power comes great responsibility. You need to secure your server manually, setting up firewalls, fail2ban, SL certificates, and doing regular backups. Managed versus unmanaged VPS hosting. If all that sounds a bit overwhelming, there's good news. Managed VPS hosting means your hosting provider takes care of all the technical stuff: server setup, maintenance, security updates, and monitoring. You get the power of a VPS without needing to be a sysadmin. Unmanaged VPS, on the other hand, puts you in the driver's seat. You're responsible for everything. It's cheaper but only recommended if you're comfortable managing a server on your own. Choose based on your comfort level. If you're a developer or want to learn more about server management, unmanaged might be fun. If you want peace of mind, go managed. How to choose the right VPS provider. There are dozens of VPS providers out there, so how do you pick one? Look for providers that offer reliable uptime, 99.9% plus, fast SSD storage, easy scalability, transparent pricing, solid customer support, data center locations close to your users. Popular VPS providers include Linode, Vultr, DigitalOcean, Hetzner, and OVH, just to name a few. So, is a virtual private server right for you? If you're tired of shared hosting slowing you down, if you need flexibility and power, if you're building something serious, whether it's a business, an app, or a game, then yes, a VPS might be the smartest move you can make. It's powerful, it's customizable, and it gives you the control to build your digital presence your way. Just make sure you choose the right provider and decide whether you want to manage it yourself or leave it to the pros. If you found this video helpful, hit that like button, subscribe, and tap the bell icon so you never miss out on more deep dives into the tools and tech that power the internet. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep learning, keep building, and keep owning your digital future.